Obviously, really efficient second half for you guys. What was the obviously, first half you're hanging right in there, but, to get off to the start that you did, just what was the key for you, after the break to get ahead there?
Coach lit a fire in the halftime. We expect a lot from ourselves, so it was really just getting back to what we need to be doing, just playing the way we know we should be playing.
And obviously, Saturday night was such an exciting night. It was tough to come up short against Michigan State, but, to follow this quickly with the home win, I guess just how big is that to kind of bounce back from that and get a W on your belt?
It builds a lot of momentum. Playing against those bigger teams like that shows what we're capable of, and, coming home to prove that we should be getting wins and should get a lot of wins this season is good for us.
Marcus, 24 points, but 10 of 11 shooting tonight. Just talk about the zone you were in, and obviously maybe a little bit tough shooting the other night at Michigan State, but maybe what was the difference for you between the other night and tonight?
Really, just staying consistent. Staying in the gym. Really, the last game, I was, 1 for 11 from 3. That's not usually myself, but just staying locked in and going to the next game. Just making sure just keep things simple and just keep staying confident in my shot.
And how big is it to just get the win after the Michigan State game and kind of you guys played really well there obviously, but to kind of continue that strong play here?
I feel like this is a big win. Michigan State. We went in there. We had the confidence. Get in there and get a good win. But obviously came out short. But playing against them, it showed that what we're capable of. But tonight, we started off, slow. We can't keep doing that. We gotta start off strong. Especially when we start playing against the good teams.
Sam, a couple threes again for you tonight. 6 of 10 shooting. You guys shot extremely well as a team overall. Just talk about, when you guys got good looks, you were able to connect. It seemed like you guys made the extra pass a lot of times. Just really efficient on the offensive end.
Yeah, we trust each other, and it's really easy when you see all of your guys in the gym every day working on their game. So I trust everybody to make shots. I trust myself to make shots, and my teammates trust me just as I trust them. So it really comes pretty easy for us.
Sam, can you talk a little about your teammate Derek Butler? He had that huge stretch where he scored 10 straight points in the game. Can you just talk a little bit about his performance tonight?
Yeah, so Derek's, of course, he's a new player on our team, and he's been struggling a little bit trying to find his groove. It's tough playing with a whole new group of guys, but we tell him to stay confident. He's been working out a lot this week, getting a lot of shots up, and we tell him to shoot the ball, and he found his rhythm, and it really helped us. We've really been needing some scoring off the bench, and it was big for us tonight.
Speaking of rhythm, you Derek, and Marcus, you each combined of 50 of your guys' 76 points tonight. Can you just talk a little bit about that, like the flow you three guys were in today?
It's just all about consistency. All of us are staying in the gym, and we trust each other. And that's the thing about this team is it could be any 3 guys any night, any given night. We got so much firepower. It just so happened to be me, Marcus, and Derek tonight.
And Marcus, it feels like every night you have this. You're extremely consistent when it comes to scoring. Like, what do you do in practice or during game time to get in that flow of shooting?
Really, it's all about staying consistent. In practice, just trying to be consistent in practice every day. And then when it comes game time, it's just another game. And just keep things simple. Don't force things. Let the game come to me, and coaches put me in the best positions, to score.
Seemed like you guys did start out a little slow in this one. What were the biggest adjustments you guys made towards the end of that first half and through halftime to get the offense going?
Defense led to our offense a lot of the time. Ball pressure and making them create turnovers on the defensive end will lead to our offense, making them shoot tough shots, long rebounds. I think that was the biggest thing. It wasn't necessarily what we were doing on the offensive end, but what we were doing on the defensive end leading up to the offense.
And of course, Niagara, very good three-point shooting team. That's really what they base their whole offense around, 4, even 5 guys outside the arc at times. How much of a challenge was that preparing for this kind of team and then going up against it for 40 minutes?
It was tough, especially with our size, it's kind of hard to match up to those, smaller guards. But I think Coach did a very good job at recruiting players that could, guard multiple positions. So it wasn't as hard as it looks. But those guys can shoot pretty well, and it prepares us for a lot of MAC teams. MAC teams have a lot of good shooting, so I think it was a good test for us.
You got this one, bro. Time to talk.
Sam, when Marcus has the ball in his hands, like down on the low block, he's hitting these fadeaways, hook shots, left hand, 3-pointers. I mean, what's it like just watching him kind of go to work on offense and to be able to do all the moves that he's been doing?
It's fun to watch. I've actually been guarding it in practice since May, and I was trying to figure out why I couldn't necessarily stop it too much, but I see why. He's doing it against everybody. So he works out a lot, and he's very talented. So I'm not too surprised at this point.
Marcus, obviously a lot of praise from Coach Izzo at Michigan State about your game, referred to you, I think, as Magic Johnson as well. Just, a lot of notoriety on social media as well about your game. What does that mean anything to you? And just talk about just the amount of work that you put in to do all these different moves, like a hook shot in the post, little fadeaways and stuff like that.
Yeah, the notoriety is definitely big, but I still stay humble. I know what it feels like to be the guy that's not getting the attention. So now that I'm getting the attention, I just keep trying to stay consistent, and perform every night.
Yeah, really important game for us. You're coming off of a tough stretch of games, and Niagara poses some different problems. All different styles that we've played so far, and they're playing a little smaller at the 1 through 4 and shoot a lot of threes. So it's a different style, very contrasting to what we played on Saturday and last week. And so it's good for our development. Obviously, I thought we were on our heels way far too much just in that first half. Instead of being aggressive defensively and dictating the terms of the game, I thought we were just trying to guard what they do, and we had to change that mindset at halftime, and they responded and showed a little bit more of our potential on the end of the floor. And then obviously offensively, to have a 56, 41, 90 game as a team is off the charts, and will put you in a position to win a lot of games. But we need to do that off of our defense too.
Coach obviously performed really well against Michigan State, but with a kind of a quick turnaround like this in just a couple of days, how big was it just to come out with a win and to execute well, and then especially shooting as well as you did? Yeah,
physical game on Saturday. Obviously, anytime you play a Michigan State team, you're going to hit the floor and you're going to get beat up, but we did this a little bit by design. With the Saturday, Tuesday MAC games, we wanted to kind of simulate that a little bit, and certainly was a tight turnaround, and it was challenging to get ready in 2 days for Niagara, not have a letdown, not have a situation where we're flat or slow or step slow, but we got snapped out of it and got a lot done today.
Sam Towns, Derek Butler, Marcus Johnson combined for 40 of the 43 points in the second half. It just looked like a lot of smart shots as well. Nothing was really forced, it seemed like. Just talk about, a lot of contributions, but for them to, to consistently find the basket, and then, just the team overall feeding the hot hand and really finding the right guy.
Yeah, you're seeing maturity. For a group that's so many new faces, you're seeing a maturity in terms of the ball movement, and guys getting used to, where guys like to catch the ball, when guys are cutting, who's popping, where guys are going to be in transition. So you're starting to see that chemistry when 18 assists on 29 field goals and only 10 turnovers. You're starting to see that gel a little bit more. Definitely a ball, a good ball movement team, and it was good when Marcus got going, and there was a lot of maturity to try to find him for another shot, and so you're spot on. I think you're starting to see the team gel.
You're pretty active on social media. I mean, Marcus Johnson's name's been kind of really a national phenomenon these last couple games with the Michigan State performance. I guess thoughts about that and just the attention he's getting and just kind of how he's responded to that.
Yeah, I think through Sunday night between our game and Marcus, I think with one of our guys calculated over 5 million views just on X alone. That doesn't include anything else, So yeah, certainly that brings a spotlight. He's a unique talent, and if that brings some shine to Bowling Green, great, and brings a lot of interest. It's a show that you certainly hope the community will want to come check out, and we can continue to get fill the stroll a little bit and see, because he's unique and certainly getting a lot of national attention.
Just the variety of shots he has. I mean, he had a left-handed hook from about 6-8 feet away. I mean, obviously, three-point shooting fadeaway is like, just when you watch him in practice, like just how much work is going into each of these specific areas of his offensive game. Yeah,
he's like a unicorn, is what we said. I mean, he's a big point guard, but that's not even a true justice. And he might be a better passer than he is a shooter. He's an elite passer, and so we're just kind of waiting for people to start to really double, and then you're going to really see a show, because he can just find people on the floor. So we're excited about that, and but he does a good job. He kind of picking his spots. He was shooting 90% or whatever today, and just being efficient with it. It wasn't just forcing up nonsense and whatnot, and that's not really his game. He's very smart, and we moved him all over the floor to try to make it difficult on defense, and he's smart enough to do that.
Coach, you felt like Sam Towns really had his best season performance tonight. He had 16 points, he had 5 rebounds, he had 2 assists and 2 blocks. Could you just talk a little bit about his performance on the court tonight?
Yeah, Sam really responds, and I lean on him as one of our leaders and hold him accountable for mistakes that maybe not always his, because as a leader, this is his team, him and Trey and Bub. These guys they went through the fire last year. I'm putting the onus on them to have a very tight grip on what we're trying to do, and he's responded. Obviously, 16, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. He was flying all over the place, and that's who he should be. That's who he should be, and I think that's when we're at our best.
And Derek Butler, it really felt like tonight was the night he put it all together. Obviously, he's a new player, but he had that stretch where he scored 10 straight points. Could you just talk a little about what he showed on the court and like how he's been finding his groove on this team since he's gotten here?
Yeah, he was a little under the weather last week, and he's a guy that likes the gym, and so he wasn't probably truly himself, a little step slow, and just trying to get his wind back, and today was could tell with his preparation these last 2 days. I said, this is the day. I saw it on Sunday and saw it yesterday, and said, Tuesday's the day. We're now we're ready to roll. And he answers the bell, and he's such a spectacular person and a coachable kid that 16 on 7 shots is pretty dang efficient.
And it feels like week after week, this team does so well in scoring points in the paint. You guys scored 40 against Michigan State. You scored 28 tonight. What makes this team so good at getting to the rim or getting to the basket to get those inside points?
We're a smart team. We're very good at cutting. A lot of those points are off cuts, which is kind of by design. We do a lot of triggers, we call them, and so guy drives here. This is where we want what happens next, and they find ways to do that, and then they pass to each other when they're open in that way, and so that puts a lot of pressure on a team, and hats off to these guys for finishing around the rim.
And just one last question. Devontae Campbell, he was the second leading scorer today, a little bit quieter night in scoring, but he's always so impactful on the defensive end of the court. Once again, he led the game in steals with 2. Can you just talk a little bit how important he is to this defense?
Yeah, and he got those kind of early fouls that took him out a little bit, and he's learning that balance. I mean, this is his 5th Division I game, and he's finding that balance of when he can and gamble and when not to, but you don't want to take away his aggressiveness. He's one of those guys that'll be among the nation leaders in steals in my mind, but I mean, 4 assists, 1 turnover. He just did the job that was needed. He didn't do too much, didn't do not enough. He did what was needed.
Coach, how important was it to stay composed in the first half after Niagara took that 9-point lead?
Yeah, I mean, I've been through this enough and know what we have and know how, we've when to push and when to pull with this team and get a pulse on it. This team, obviously, we've shown that we've been a team of runs. We've got to shorten the other team's runs. I didn't like a lot of that was to our lack of defensive intensity and performance on that end, and we start shoring that up. I think we won't need to push those buttons.
Of course, you guys didn't end the game against Michigan State how you wanted to in those final 7 minutes. How good was it to see the team be able to close out this win and execute in these late game scenarios here today?
Yeah, we were able to, keep guys on the floor. Nobody got 4 fouls. We that was certainly a major contributor. We had to kind of shift lineups, and when you get 4 fouls, guys don't want to foul out, and all of a sudden your defense becomes passive, and you're trying to keep guys on the floor, and that kind of started to kind of get that snowball for us at Michigan State, and so it was important for us to keep a steady rotation and keep guys to be able to stay being aggressive and not play with foul trouble.
Sam Towns, I believe it's 4 3-pointers made past 2 games. Coach Izzo, after the game, said he wasn't even sure that he could shoot it because there's not much of him on film. How much has he worked this offseason to get that deep shot going?
Yeah, I mean, we all these guys work. They work. Guys that don't work need not apply. And you see, Jemai Felds made a couple threes in the year, and probably a year ago at this time, that wasn't probably in that bag. So you're starting to see, all that work and skill come out, and he doesn't shoot bad ones. And but if teams are going to continue to stay off of them, that's great for us. Please, so we'll take it.
And then speaking of Jemai, like you said, hit a 3-pointer. He had 2 blocks today. What have you seen in him as his minutes have gone up? How has he been able to evolve and develop so far this season?
He's a true freshman, even though it's his 3rd year. It just is. He hasn't got a chance to play organized basketball for a couple of years, and just to see him out there and growing every minute, and you're seeing his growth in terms of like learning the game, learning the timing, learning each of one of these scenarios that comes up. Like, it's all new, and so you're starting to see that growth. His upside is off the charts.
Coach, what kind of defensive adjustments did you make at halftime? Because in the second half, there was a point towards the end of the half where they had just 16 points.
Yeah, it was just asked them very nicely to do exactly what we were supposed to be doing, and they politely obliged. So that was the gist of it. Just do what we're doing, but do it better and with more intensity and more focus, less breakdowns, and if you don't, we'll find somebody that will. And they responded.
And then also, how important is depth to this team? Because as we've said, Butler had a great game with 16 points, but Braylon Green played a lot of minutes, and it seems like you're really like 8 or 9 guys deep on this roster.
And we've got a lot of guys that can play. I mean, Preston Squire even, hasn't gotten in the last 2 games, and last year he probably plays 20 minutes a game for us. It's just kind of the depth of the deal, what the situation dictates. He's got a lot of skill set of what Marcus can do in terms of his shooting and whatnot. So, it allows us, some of these guys that have been hurt, Jemai, Dejan Humphreys nursing an injury, we can bring him back slowly. We get, Wilkins Exact, missed the year last year. We can bring him back very patiently and step by step, So the depth allows us to kind of get those guys ready, but without having to, get usage injuries as they work their way back to full health.